Thanks to those of you who have checked out my Patreon, I am able to make a new series of Pokemon Epics, and a big shout out, of course, to the Nerd Therapist and Wilgrim. Hello there, Pokemon Master, my name is Burkeeper Toby, and thank you for clicking on this video. Gigantamax Pokemon. We already knew about Dreadnought, Alchemy, and Corviknight. Were these forms going to be new and exclusive to the Pokemon of the Galar region only? That is something that I personally have been wondering about for a while, until this morning we woke up to this image from the Coro magazine that has on it a whole bunch of Gigantamax forms for Kanto Pokemon. And I know, they're doing Kanto again, to the original, but that's not to say there's nothing to love here. In this image and the subsequent trailer that just dropped, we got Butterfree, which I'm a big fan of, because I always thought that Butterfree needed more love ever since Beedrill got a Mega. Meowth, which looks absolutely ridiculous. A super fluffy Eevee that you're only going to be able to get in the game if you have records of Let's Go Eevee on your console, which, by the way, I love that they are doing that. And a Pikachu that does the same thing for Let's Go Pikachu. And by the way, this Pikachu, oh, he looks like how Pikachu used to look, all fat. Henceforth, you shall be known as Chonkchu. Pika-Chonk. And I will love your squishy face. And of course, the big one, Mega Charizard Z. A Gigantamax form of Charizard, which we kind of expected because Leon's main Pokemon, his ace Pokemon, is Charizard, and that's a bit weird given that he's the champion of the Galar region, so we knew that Charizard was probably going to get something new. What if I told you, I reckon we've already seen this Charizard? Let's rewind right back to the beginning of the year, before Sword and Shield was even announced. In fact, it was the day of that announcement. One of my lovely viewers, Juniper Storm, directed me to an episode of the Pokemon anime, in which James is talking, James from Team Rocket, talking about collecting rare Pokemon, and we see the silhouette of a mysterious Pokemon. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is Toby really going to try and connect that silhouette and Charizard? That is a bigger stretch than Meowth's stomach. But hold up a second, just listen. In that episode, Let Sleeping Pokemon Lie, James shows off a silhouette of a powerful Pokemon. Of course, it's not really the silhouette of any Pokemon we know. It could have easily done, say, Komodo, which is the pseudo-legendary dragon of the Alola region, which is where this episode takes place. Could have done Dragonite, could have done Salamence, could have done Haxorus, could have done any of those big dragons, but instead, we get this thing. Which, to be honest, looking at the outline, I thought, blimey, that is a lot of spikes. Maybe it's some kind of future Pokemon from Generation 8, from Sword and Shield. Some kind of Pokemon covered in spikes, and I actually reached out to Dark Core, who drew an image of this Pokemon. And they didn't go for spikes, they went for fur, and I can kind of see it, and it kind of plays on the whole bearded dragon idea. Interesting stuff. Although, I guess really the question is, why did I think this might be a new Pokemon at all? It's not just a reach. In fact, James has predicted the future in Pokemon before. In the movie Pokemon Ranger and the Temple of the Sea, there is a little clip where Jessie and James and Meowth are in their Team Rocket sub, and they're going down to the Pokemon Ranger Temple, and they're wondering what's going to be in the temple. Will it be gold and silver, rubies and sapphires, or diamonds and pearls? It's like a nice little bit of foreshadowing because the Manaphy movie, while it does have some Generation 4 Pokemon in it, was actually set in the Generation 3 arc. Similarly, and I think I've got this right, I realize there's a lot of confusion about this online, and these are some very obscure episodes. About 2 episodes towards the end of the Sinnoh arc, there is a clip where something very similar happens. Team Rocket are looking at a little gemstone on the seafloor, and they're wondering, is it gold or silver, rubies or sapphires or emeralds, diamond, pearl, platinum? And James specifically says, it's not always that black and white. James from Team Rocket loves to do foreshadowing, and this isn't even the only time they've shown off a Pokemon early. Right back in Generation 2, Misty talks about how she dreamt of this legendary kind of water-type Pokemon, and you've probably seen this image because the sail looks an awful lot like Mega Gyarados. And while yeah, it's completely unconfirmed and they are a different color, it seems to be accepted by a lot of people that this is a sort of, not so much foreshadowing, but maybe Game Freak or the Pokemon Company looked back at that sale and thought, we should do something with that, because Misty has a very special connection to Gyarados. So when we look at this silhouette from pretty close to the end of the Sun and Moon animated series, with James yet again breaking the fourth wall, talking about powerful Pokemon, and they're not just using a silhouette of any existing Pokemon, you have to wonder about this Pokemon and whether I was wrong to think that they were spikes on that Pokemon. Whether L-Dark Core was wrong to think that it was fur on that Pokemon, and if really, what we're really looking at in that silhouette is fire. Fire stemming from the front of a Gigantamax Charizard right over its back and up along its tail. You know, it has the same 3 claws as Charizard on the front of it, on its hands, and actually even its feet that are far more claw-like than regular Charizard. But when you look at Gigantamax Charizard, it's got them claw feet and it's got the glowing red eyes. I'm not saying they're exactly the same, but again, could this have been the case that at this point, the Pokemon Company had a rough idea of what the design was going to be and they decided to kind of feed it into the Sun and Moon anime as a little Easter egg, a little future reference to Gigantamax Charizard. Oh, and a little side note, you might be watching this and thinking, come on Toby, clearly that Pokemon is not the same as Gigantamax Charizard. After all, it doesn't have wings. Well, according to the main press release about this form of Charizard, Charizard's flames have now become enhanced with Gigantamax power and now form the wings on its back. These wings are hotter than magma, and Charizard can fire them off to scorch its opponents, which means there are times where this form of Charizard does not have wings. In which case, it would look exactly like the Pokemon James is referencing. Okay, back to the main video. Of course, that is all very, very speculative. Now, this video does have Sun and Moon in the title, so here's the thing. Whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me, if you do leave a comment and leave a like on this video, you are in with a chance of winning a copy of Pokemon Sword and Shield and a Nintendo Switch, the Sword and Shield one. So do jump into the comments, share this video around, let me know what you think. Is this like Game Freak doing a little bit of their sneaky maneuvering that they seem to like to do a lot? Or is this, no, completely unconnected, and again, I'm stretching this longer than Meowth's stomach, which by the way, Meowth looks awesome. I think my favorite one is definitely Chonkachu, Pikachonk. That's my favorite for sure. Let me know yours in the comments, and of course, so hi, Pokemon Masters.
This is Ash Ketchum. You just watched a video by Birdkeeper Toby. That makes you a Pokemon